Alright, so welcome back. This tutorial is about creating the hand with topology. And now this is my hand. I sculpted it in the very natural way, meaning it's every finger is bent differently and the thumb is bent differently. My suggestion for you is don't do this because it's hard to retopologize it. Of course you can do a zero measure, maybe that's good for you, I guess. But I can always do better with hand retopologized result. So let's start doing that. So the body, let me just hide it for now, and let's focus on the hand. So what I'm gonna do is go create a cylinder here, and then drag that cylinder to where the hand is, make it smaller, and then just match it with the index finger. And then make it longer. Alright. And then you want to go to the channel box and go to polycylinder and change the subdivision on the head. And then also the let's just make it 3, okay. And then you want to change the radius, the subdivision axis to something like 8, so it's simpler. Okay. And now what you want to do is deleting those 2 lines here on the cap, and then delete the other side entirely. Okay, so that's a proper topology now. And then what you can do is go grab the vertices and just drag them. They will be snapped to the hand. You want to drag this line to the first to where the bending of the last finger there, and that line to the bending of this finger, and then the last one will be just there at the very beginning of this finger. You may experience this, just drag it back, no big deal. Okay. So when I'm retopologizing, this is really annoying sometimes. Okay, so what I would do is actually try to separate the body. So I'm gonna do just go grab a loop, maybe here, and delete that loop. Okay, that way I can separate the model. Okay, and then just hide that one, and then I can also hide that one. That way I can just focus on the hand only. Make sure you turn off symmetry though. You don't need symmetry in this case. Alright, so that way I can focus on the hand instead. And if yours is a dynamic way, you can just grab some of the faces. It doesn't have to be a very clean cut like this. Anyway, so I have a finger now, if not really complicated. So I need to give it some detail at least. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is start using Quadro 2 by adding 2 more loops for the bending of this segment, and then drag the vertex around to give it more to enhance the shape. And basically just make the bottom part closer, so they give me a very strong winkle down there, and then spread them out on the top, and then maybe drag that vertex forward a little if I want to represent that shape. Alright, and then the same thing here for the second segments, so just drag those closer like that. And drag those away. On the top. Alright, and for the middle you want some, So I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 1, 2, maybe here. Okay, good enough. Now I need the tip to be much better refined, so I need to drag some topology much closer to the tip. That way I can represent that shape better with more topology or more geometry, like that. And then of course for the fingernail, what I can do is turn off the make line. I need to actually manually extrude that out. So extrude and then scale it in, extrude again and go up. Okay, maybe go back a little bit. And then from the fronts, first let me make them bigger and then extrude out for the tip of the nail. Alright, so that's one of the fingers. I'm kinda lazy, so I don't want to do the same thing again and again on the palm. So what I'm gonna do is duplicate this one and drag it over, and this time I'm just gonna manually match them myself. It's not gonna be perfect. The baking normal will be crap. So that's why sometimes in my workflow, I don't sculpt the hand directly. I model it in Maya, and then I sculpt the detail in ZBrush later on. So you always want to think about not just sculpting a thing, right? You want it to be compatible with all sorts of working pipelines. As a modeler, right? You don't want your model to be just looking awesome and not really useful for other things. So a bit of thought on that when you're doing or inventing your workflow, I think it's very valuable. I want to try to match them as good as possible though. Smaller pinky fingers, drag that there, and it's bending differently, so I need to manually do that too here. Oh, before I do that, I think the has to be tilted that way. Okay, and then bend the nail. Let's bend the first segment there. So grab those vertices. Okay, move the pivot there and rotate. Maybe you can also just move it. You want to match with the shape as much as you can, otherwise the baking will be all off, which is not good either. Alright, so I have the fingers there now. Okay, now let me grab them out and then combine them together. Okay. And then I'm just gonna connect those things. By that, what I mean is using the append polygon tool. Connect that to that, then connect that to the other one. It's I have a little overlapping here. Let me fix that by dragging the vertex around. His fingers are pretty thick, so that's why it's gonna be having some overlapping when they're too close. But you want to give them gap at least a little. So just gonna drag things around to make the shape looks better. Cool. So I have the fingers connected now. One more thing I want to do is just extrude out to create the palm. You make them flat, maybe rotate. There are so many benefits of modeling, or at least sculpting the hand in a straight way, because this hand is tilted like that, so it's hard to use your manipulator too here. Anyway, so now a little trick here will be like how I teach you to model the hand at the first place. Oh, before I do that, let me just go insert edge loop to here, okay, and then merge those little gaps between the fingers. Do the same thing at the bottom, and then you can eliminate one of the lines. So I get lesser lines, which is cool, actually better than before, right? Because I know that I will have to compensate differentiations between the loops on the hand and the loops on the arm. So I'm gonna do this. Now, then I just need to insert edge loop to here in the middle. Alright, that way they will have evener. They will become all quads. And then another thing I wanted to do is go to the Multikatsu and go from here to the middle of this triangle and then to there and rotate and keep going and go there and then connect it to that. Do the same thing going around the fingers, go to the other side and then connect it to the middle and then to this line here, and keep doing that until you finish every finger. So that's the basic topology people use to do the fingers. So that way they have one loop here to bend the finger, and also they have one more loop in the middle to help create the gap between fingers. Okay. Anyway, so after that, okay, what I would do is going back to retopologizing, select the hand and make it live, and then select the fingers. Let's go quad draw 2. Okay, I just need to add in one more loop here, and then maybe smooth that out. That will make them snapped to the surface of the palm. Okay. Oh, that one shouldn't go that far away. Sorry. Go here and there. Maybe I can delete that line. I can recreate that very easily. Now I can keep retopologizing my stuff. Of course, you can drag things around here too to make them go better places. Alright. So let's create the palm. So you need a loop to wrap around where the finger, the thumb grows out. So maybe it's that loop here, wrapping around the thumb like that. Okay, so that loop will be a complete loop, wrapping around it like that. Okay. And then I just keep doing that loop to the middle. Okay. Until you got where you think that's where the thumb should be. Now it should be growing out. electrical there. One more loop wouldn't hurt. Alright, and then maybe do some smoothing. And from that hole, that will be where the thumb is. Okay. Okay, and then all I have to do is fill in the other parts. Now here I can actually make things easier by, or make things simpler by, you know, trying to have the lens looping around instead of going down, because I know I have very little lens on my arm. I don't want to really push too much lens to the bottom. See, I'm having very little lines going to the bottom. Actually, you see the loop is just going around instead of, you know, go crazy. I'll go down actually. Alright, so on. So here I'm gonna drag it there. Okay. That way I'm getting one less segment. Just trying to simplify stuff. But I still have a lot of lines here. So it's probably inevitable to end up with a lot of lines on the top though. So I may need to have a lot of lines on the top eventually. But here at least I can just rotate my loops around. It's not bending that much, so I'm okay with this diamond shape over there, you know. I do have a little trouble here. I don't have enough line to connect to the other side, so let me create one more line here. Because I try to rotate all my lines to the side, which is, you know, trying to have less lines going to the bottom. Alright, so I do end up with a little corner here. Not really worry about that either. So just fill in. Need one more line. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need one more line here. So I'm already trying a lot to simplify the lines. I wouldn't really bother if I have more lines going to the thumb though, because, you know, it's a cylinder shape. It's not gonna extend its new lines to other parts. So it's totally okay. Anyway. So I just need to create the thumb and then maybe just figure out how to connect the hand with the arm later on. For now, I think that's the topology I will go for the hand, not really needing that much of variation and stuff. Oh. There is a joke in 3D which is called the KISS. KISS means keep it simple, stupid. Okay, keep it simple, stupid. So meaning you don't want to go crazy about, you know, how everything has to be perfect, it has to be complicated So all the muscles have to be represented with topology, which is gonna be big pain to you later on actually when you're doing rigging. Or if you're not, your rigger will be pissed too. Alright. Oh. Probably need to move things around here, you know, to make all the vertex to be snapped on the surface, but I don't think that surface, that gap there is accurate. So maybe not do that. Okay, so the sum. Okay. For the sum, I need to check how many edges are there. I have 12 edges. So what I'm gonna do is, you know, just create a cylinder and then move it to the sum. Let me turn off that. And what I will have is 12 edges on the cylinder. It's easier to, you know, start with a cylinder than trying to extrude from there, to me at least, because it's easier to control from simple stuff. So now, wait, oh, I think I can just delete some of the lines. Let me delete those lines here and reconnect them this way. Of course, I don't need the end. Right, and then give it one more line in the middle, because you have one bending in the middle. And then when that is done, all you have to do is make the geometry lab again, and then go drag vertex. Okay, or just lines, or snap them to the sum. Okay. Of course, I need to. Whoa. That's actually not cool. So let me Control Z, go back. That part is going crazy. So let me do those first. Maybe just those lines. I'm going in. Okay. And then the other three just there. Right. And then those lines. And the last ones. Okay. Here, let's then drag things back to better represent the shape of the tip of the sum. I'm actually really excited with new workflows like ZBrush and, you know, stuff. It's actually not new workflow anymore. It's been there a pretty long time now. But I also miss the old ways a lot, because they do have benefits or advantages. Like the advantage of the old ways of modeling, which is box modeling, is your topology actually represent the shape 100%, because you're using that topology to do the shape. Retopologizing loses detail, and you can only rely on baking normal map a lot to make it work. Or after retopologizing, you have to tweak it at least for a little while to really make it looks like your actual sculpt. so that's the sum. I need more loops here. Should I make it far away and then drag the bottom ones closer? Oh. To make that seem stronger. Okay, one more here. And then just one more here for the nail to be extruded out. Okay. And then just grab those two. Let me disable the alive, combine, okay, and then bridge, okay, because they have equal amount of lines, so it's just very easy to do the bridging. And then of course the nail, just select those faces and then do extrude for the thickness. Oh, sorry, extrude in first a little, and then extrude up for the thickness of the finger, and then, sorry, the nail, and then extrude again to give it some extension. That looks ugly. Okay. So that's the entire hand, and let's see eventually how we connect it back to the body. Okay, it's a big deal too. Now that's my body topology, that's my hand topology. Don't really need to see that anymore, so it's time to combine them together. I can combine them here and maybe fix the other side later on by mirroring it. So let me just combine it here. Okay, now I have a 14 here, 10 there, so I need to eliminate 4 or adding 4 more on the top. I think I can add 1 more here. Okay. And maybe 1 more there. See how many are there now? 13. Okay, just need 1 more. Be here. So where does it go? Bottom of the leg. Not cool. So I'm gonna deselect those lines, or just select it again. Control D, deselect those and delete that loop because I don't need that to go all the way down. I intend to just make it go that way. So that means this. Alright, and then I got enough lines for the hand to be connected with the wrist. Okay, so then I just need to bridge. Alright, and then after that I can go to the front view and go to face mode and grab the other half and then just delete. You want to make sure you did it really clean so you don't have left ones that are not there, because if you do that and when you mirror it you're gonna have big problems. Okay, anyway, meanwhile I think I can also just combine the head with the body too. Oh, you know what, I can combine them later after I'm mirroring the body. So let me just mirror the body. Okay, when you're doing mirror, make sure your merge threshold is quite low, so 0.001. Otherwise, you have the holes all mirror, all combined here. Okay, so now we have the entire body retopologized, and then let's show the high resolution model, which are those ones. Let's think. Gonna combine them back together. and then probably bridge this back. Okay, and then bridge that back too. Alright. Now make it live again, and then I can select my model and just do some tweaking, especially here I need to let's turn on symmetry. Control 2 to even that out. But anyway, so that's the entire process of retopologizing the body. See, the body takes me an hour. The hand takes me half hour. Okay. So I hate doing the hands because there are just so many fingers on it. Alright. So you need patience when you're doing the hand. There's just no way around it. Okay. If I could do it better this next time, I will maybe have more lines here going through the the bicep, because it's a big muscle. I only have one line to represent it. Anyway, the geometry here is still actually quite simple though, compared to the ones you see a lot. My topology is always kind of low, low topology. Anyway, so combine it to the head, do combine, and then I'm just gonna merge the vertices here one by one. Alright. And then that's the entire body all sewed back together. Let me give them the same material. Okay. So that is the body. I'll retopologize. You see, I do miss a lot of detail though. So later on, what I will do is I will use my sculpting tool here. Okay. Turn symmetry. Oh, it's already on. I will start sculpting it on the low resolution model and try to get as much detail back as possible. The more detail I can get on this low resolution model, the less things I need to do to try to make it better when I do texturing and retopologizing and do the rigging part. Okay, but anyway, I leave that for you to do if you wanted to do that. But the focus here is still having a decent topology for the body, like this. And of course, no n-gons, no triangles. I don't have triangles, hopefully. I don't remember I did any triangle. And also no n-gons. You can check if there are n-gons by go to match, clean up, and then clean up matching polygons for set face. Oh, select matching polygons, face with more than 4 sets, and apply. You see it's not there, so it's all clean. Alright. So this is the second part of retopologizing the entire body. So everything is there now. Your assignment is do this. So I will see your entire body retopologized next time. And then also after Thursday, you will have some more knowledge about the anatomy of clothes. So I want you to start also sculpting your clothes too, because you have a whole week of doing these kind of things. So thanks for watching and see you next time.